It's time to get a little twisted. What's up, everybody? This is Chris from Big Brother Roundup here with another video about this season. Season 16 seemed to be one of the biggest of the year with the most house guests that they've had. My last video talked about the house guests and my first impressions of them, and it seems like a really interesting group of people. But we never know how they're going to really act or how well their strategies are really going to stay into play once they figure out the twist. Well, my friends, the twist is here. Right before they announced the cast, Julie Chen came on to talk and talked about the twist. What are the house guests having to deal with this next year? Well, let's take a listen to see what she had to say.
This year, not one, but two house guests will win head of household every week.
Okay, so two head of households now. Okay, so what's the season going to be about? Is it going to be pairs? Is it going to be teams? Is it just going to be just two random head of households? Because that could make things pretty interesting. If two people of opposing alliances end up both being head of household and being in charge of the nominations that year. Conflicting ideas, who's going to be put up on the block, all that stuff. It can make things for a lot of drama and a lot of craziness, and can make it could be really interesting in that way, I guess. I hope so. Maybe that's what she's talking about.
Each head of household, also known as HOH, will have the responsibility of nominating two fellow house guests for eviction. So that means every week, a total of 4 nominated house guests will be on the chopping block.
Or not. So each head of household will be responsible of nominating 2 house guests each. That makes it 4 nominees per week. Okay, last year they had 3 nominees for the first few weeks because they did the MVP. Wow, I cannot talk today. MVP vote. I don't know why I couldn't talk today. Anyway, because they had the MVP vote, they did 3 nominees, and because of that, it ended up being that one nominee got no votes each week, and it was still between just the 2. It was interesting. Didn't really work too well. That's why it only lasted for 6 weeks. There were other problems with that too, but to have 4 people nominated, why not nominate the entire house at this point? It's going to be really weird to have 4 nominees each week. I don't see how they're going to do that. So, I don't know. Maybe Julie has more information for us as we get closer.
However, for the first time on Big Brother, just because you're the HOH doesn't mean you're safe.
Wait, what? Julie, run that by me again?
However, for the first time on Big Brother, just because you're the HOH doesn't mean you're safe.
That's what I thought she said. The head of household is not safe. Then what's the point? I'm echoing a lot of people online talking about this twist when it comes to why the head of household is not safe. Because that's one of the biggest luxuries of head of household, is that you have immunity for the week. You don't have to worry about going home or people nominating you or anything like that. Besides the power of being able to get who you want out of the house, or work or try to get who you want out of the house, it's the immunity. That's what gets you the power. That's the attractiveness of it. So if you don't give them the immunity, then why would you actually go for head of household? It's like people are going to be throwing HOH each week. It's going to be who's the quickest to fail. I guess. Oh, Julie, please, let there be something that saves us from this.
That's because a brand new competition will be played this year called Battle of the Block.
Vague, but okay. Battle of the Block. This has to do with the fact that there are two head of households, and they're not safe. I hate waiting. I'm not patient. I need to know. I need to know how this is going to work. And god damn it, we're not going to know until we see it on the show. Come Wednesday, Thursday, maybe even beyond that. We may not even know till next Sunday. God. Anyway, so be it. We need... It is what it is, unfortunately. Without knowing any more details, we can't really be sure how this is going to work. I can give my speculation, I can give my prediction of how it's going to work. I just don't know if it's going to be right. But here it is anyway. Here's what I think. We have two heads of household. We have head of household A and head of household B. They each get to nominate two people. So head of household A will nominate house guests 1 and 2, and head of household B will get to nominate house guests 3 and 4. Now, can they nominate each other in this? I don't know. It's possible. It actually is possible when you think about it, because of what's the next thing is the Battle of the Block. Basically, the way I see it is the two heads of household will be competing over whose nominees will be safe. So it could be that head of household A may have nominated head of household B. So if head of household A wins, head of household B is nominated now. Could be that. But basically they'll be fighting over whose nominee stays safe. So if head of household A wins, head of household B is dethroned, and head of household B's nominees, numbers 3 and 4, are now off the block. And nominees 1 and 2 that head of household A nominated are now up for eviction as the locked-in votes. Pre-veto, of course. So this makes things pretty interesting. And actually would make, in terms, basically, you have two options of nominees. Who's it going to be? Could it be possible that they can nominate the same people or some kind of overlap? I don't know. The way Julie Chen put it out is that there will be 4 nominees, not up to 4 nominees. So, again, we have no idea. We won't know until the show starts, which is frustrating. So, that's really it for the twist. I really don't know how this is going to turn out. Again, this is just all on paper. It looks like crap and it looks like a mess. When it plays on TV and once we get more details of it, it may work out. You don't know. So don't judge this until, just like with the house guests, with my first impressions, don't judge this twist by what we just heard. When we see it on TV, then we can scream at CBS of how terrible they are. There's actually one more part of the twist, actually more like a second twist that Julie also revealed. So here's that too.
And one more thing, you, the fans, are going to be influencing the game in a new interactive twist called Team America.
America, fuck yeah!
We're not gonna get away from that anymore, are we? Seriously, every blog, every podcast, every video you see is going to have that fucking clip. Why did you name it that, CBS? Not saying it's a bad movie. I love Team America. It was a fantastic... I loved it. But the fact that we're going to be hearing that clip all freaking season, I am not excited about. Anyway, about the twist itself, I'd be more excited if there wasn't any sort of connection to an outside famous person in the house. This is going to turn into just like with Alyssa Slater last year, with her relationship with Rachel Riley and how she was basically given the MVP each week because of her famous sister. I feel like Frankie's gonna get the same treatment if this whole vote goes the way it is. Now, with the whole interactive way, we really don't know how that's going to work. Now, there was a poll that went up right after the announcement, which basically said, which house guests would you like to make an alliance with? Vote carefully, because your choice will impact the game. Yeah, exactly what we did not want. Plus, on the live feeds, there's a new feature where an interactive vote happens. In like the previews, they showed a vote poll saying, which house guest would you like to do everybody's laundry? So, how are those two going to differ? Are the people on the live feeds basically going to get fun stuff to give them to do, while everyone else gets the most important tasks? That's probably how it is going to work, actually. But they really didn't express how Team America is.
America, fuck yeah!
I am going to avoid using that phrase from now on. Anyway, there is no set thing of how this vote is going to impact the game. As long as it's not choosing the nominees, it's not choosing the HOH, it's not choosing any of that, I'll be happy. I think a lot of us will be happy. As someone who loves the game and doesn't want any sort of... Like, if this was a fresh batch of people, or if it was all newbies, or all celebrities, then yeah, okay, having a vote for HOH or some kind of power would be awesome. Wouldn't be that bad. But the fact that there is somebody in the house with some kind of connection that will have a gigantic social influence, no. That person needs to get out of the house fast. Someone needs to find out that Frankie Grande is related to Ariana. And like I said, it may be Brittany because she has 3 kids. And now thinking about it, it may be Paula, because there's information that came out that Paula knows Gina Marie, who also knows Frankie, and Paula may actually also know Frankie Grande. They're both from New York City. Astoria is New York City. So it will be interesting, and how this actually works out for him is probably going to be a lot in his favor, unfortunately, and I'm not happy about it. Why does there need to be an audience vote? No! See, here's the thing. We're not the UK. We're not Australia. We don't do Big Brother well with audience vote. We've seen that so many freaking times of how this does not work. Stop doing it, CBS. Stop doing this. Just give us a pure season. That's all I want. Just a pure season, please. Please. So that's it for me, folks. What do you guys think of the twist? How well do you think this whole thing is going to work out? Just comment below with how do you think this is going to work out? Is it going to fall flat on his face? Is it actually going to turn out well, and are we just freaking out for no reason? Let me know. I really want to hear what you guys think about it. And as always, make sure you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and on Tumblr for all updates and more from this vlog. Make sure to subscribe to make sure you're getting all my videos and checking out what we have. And make sure to share it with your friends. I love talking about Big Brother. I love talking about this season. So hopefully I can be able to share my views and such with more people. And hopefully maybe we'll even get a couple of co-hosts every once in a while, so we can actually talk about the show than just me here rambling. So we'll see what happens. Got to talk with a few people, but this is just preseason. Once we get into the season, it'll be a lot more fun. So make sure you check it out. My next video is going to be about the house and the new look of the house and what I think about that. And if you haven't checked it out, make sure you check out my last video on the house guests themselves. It was actually a pretty cool video. It is long, but there's actually a really cool DVR feature I kind of put in there where you can actually select which house guests you want to actually view. So that's that. I'll see you guys soon, I guess, in like next day or two. and we'll see how this twist comes out. If any news comes out within the next few days, I'll probably post another video just recapping that, and I'll see you then. So until then, later.
America!